Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
I was asking them.
I thought you were asking them, that's why I didn't answer.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You're on top of the ball. Barbara, not so much.
I'm on top of the ball. Don't you just say I'm on the ball? I'm stood atop the ball.
Dude, you're balancing.
You are more than on the
top.
ball. You're on top of that fucking ball. This week's RT Podcast with Gus.
Gavin.
Barbara.
Brandon, that one. Brandon.
And Gus. Come on, dude. You should know more than most people.
Well, it's weird because now this is moved over here and I can't see the...
And
We were just talking
serious.
about if I was awkward.
Did it really frazzle you?
Huh?
Did it really like get to you?
No.
Like we were trying to psych you out before the podcast started, telling you how awkward you were.
You see what you
and then,
did?
Yeah, you couldn't find your camera despite the fact you have years of studio experience.
No. I knew where my camera was and I knew where the monitor was, but I wasn't sure which camera you were on.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I had to be like, all right, which camera?
Okay.
And then look back.
I hear you.
I like the difference between normal office Brandon and podcast Brandon is that there's a straight line across his hair like this. It's really neat. Look at that.
What?
You've like done your hair all proper.
Did you
Have
do
I?
your hair for this?
No,
Liar.
I did not.
As if you look like that
I saw
today.
you messing up your hair earlier today because you were stressed out about something.
Yeah, because I was stressed out. That's probably what it is.
So you play with your hair when you're stressed
Well,
out.
I mean, I think, yeah, I do this a lot.
He makes
my
it
hair
really
is so
puffy.
thick, there's something very soothing about it.
It's like having a
felt my
dog on your head.
Yeah.
You can just pet it like anywhere you go. Like, oh, I'm a good boy.
do
You know
that
what I'm
too,
talking
Gus.
about, Gus, right?
Yeah, I do that all
I've
the
seen
time.
Gus play with his hair a
you
lot.
can see it's like if I ever go bald, it's gonna be because I've pulled all of my hair back from stress. Like my hair is so thick, it'll never happen unless I'm just super stressed and I just like fucking push that hairline back in anger.
Brandon, if you ever get really stressed out, I'll let you play with my hair.
The other thing I
There's
do,
a lot of it.
I
you
don't know
could
if
do
ever
with
know-
less hair
Can
on
I
your head.
braid it?
Yeah, go for it.
Sweet.
There's another thing
Oh,
I
look
do whenever
pretty.
I'm nervous or like I'm stressed out. I'll sit. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but I'll sit with like my hand by my mouth and I chew on the hairs on my hand.
I've seen you chew your hand before.
And I have like little ball
Specifically in
spots.
RTX meetings, I
Yeah.
always see you
You see
chew
right
your
here?
hand.
It's
Little bald spot.
it's satisfying to pull hair out of yourself though.
Yeah.
I do it. I don't think I've ever told this on the podcast. I pull the hair out of my face
Like beard
because ever since I had that weird like semi-stroke, this side of my face went numb, like my cheek. So like
hair? Wait, there's still
I just pull hair out of this part of my cheek. So
Gavin.
usually
still lasting side effects from that mini
Gavin,
stroke?
I don't know. It
Go
was
to the
like
doctor.
I didn't realize it until after that I was doing it, but it might have always been
Go
there.
to the
I don't know.
doctor.
Gavin, when'd you get that beard?
I don't know.
Half
beard
your
looks
face
good.
is numb.
But usually, like this side of my face is really
I
bushy
see
and furry,
Meg just like
Maggie
looking
just
over
staring
being
at
like,
you.
"Send me to
and
the
this side is
doctor."
completely bald because there's a dead spot there, and I just yank hair out of it, and it feels satisfying. It's like
But you can't feel anything, but I guess it feels satisfying for your finger, like the sensation
I can
of the
feel
pop.
the pull. I just can't feel any of the pain of. I can feel like the tug on my skin.
Do you ever get tweezers into it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet that is actually really satisfying.
it's satisfying.
Alright.
And if you go like really whack it out, it like pulls out the whole follicle and stuff, and it's all like ugh.
And you get like the shiny end on the.
Yeah, the
it's
white
real.
tip.
It's
Yeah.
so satisfying to do.
That's pretty good.
Speaking of hair pulling out.
Oh, I think speaking of white tips,
No, definitely not that.
that was the last thing that we said.
Okay.
So
Speaking of hair pulling out.
we have our Indiegogo campaign running right now for Laser Team.
Yeah.
Which has been
And-
going great, and I mean, I've been really moved. It's amazing the kind of support we've had.
Yeah, we
And
kicked
we-
it off on Friday. For people who don't know, you can go to roosterteeth.com/laserteam to see the page and get all the information about it. We kicked it off on Friday, and I think within 10 hours we had hit our goal. And now it's I think the last time I checked earlier today, it's the number 6 most funded film ever across any crowdfunding
Yeah,
platform,
and number 2 on Indiegogo.
and number 2 on Indiegogo.
I remember checking it because I don't know what time it went live, but I checked it and it was like 28,000, and I was like, well, I guess it's it's gonna be a slow one. And I checked again and it was over 200,000. I was like,
It
oh
went.
wow, I must have literally just seen it as soon as it launched.
We launched it at I think around 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Like within minutes, it was already like $15,000.
Within the first,
Like
I think,
a minute.
5 minutes, we had a new EP, because that's one of the perks in there. You can
Executive
sign up.
producer for the lay folk out there.
Executive
Yeah,
producer. Thank
which
you,
is
Gus.
a $10,000 perk.
We-
$10,000 perk.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think we have the best audience of any online
take out the
company.
word think. We absolutely
Of any
have the best
company,
audience.
like what other company has a better audience?
No one.
Like McDonald's, Like
Blockbuster.
what
Dude, McDonald's audience is great.
That's what I'm saying though. Like not
They're
even internet
loving it,
company.
Brandon.
What other company has better followers?
None.
We should do a stretch goal of
He totally ignored you. We should do a stretch goal of what?
of 2 million, where after that we send a mini trophy saying best audience to everyone who donated.
Holy shit, dude. That'd be so many trophies.
Yeah.
Currently, there's about 14,000 people who have...
So 14,000
Sponsored.
little plastic trophies.
I
Yeah.
think I did the math on it last night when we hit million, and the average donation was $80.
wow.
Like if you divide the number by the
Oh my
amount of
God.
funders, it was $80. So That's incredible. Usually the average is like 20 to 30.
I haven't
I'm sad I
donated-
missed the $1 million rollover.
Yeah.
I was drunk, passed out last night when it happened. I guess it happened like 11 p.m. or 11:30.
It was like 11:30.
And
Do
I
you
was,
think you're
I was
the-
just like drunk and gone. I had no idea.
How many people are drunk and passed out when they hit $1 million?
Yeah.
See, there it is. Like I woke up to like a bunch of texts and emails about like getting together for this video for the $1 million
I got
reaction.
really confused when I turned around just now because I was like, what? Where all these people come from? And then I realized it was a video, not us on the podcast
What was
right
Aaron?
now.
I know. I was
pointing the
supposed to say,
camera
poor Aaron. I didn't use any of that footage.
What was he filming? The table?
It
What
was
was
an
it?
RT Live.
No, he pointed at the couch people
Yeah, it was just the angle was tough.
to get something different.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be making a feature-length movie, which is what the Indiegogo is for. It's called
Laser Team.
And there's a little bit of information, like a broad plot synopsis on the Indiegogo page. And I think we're going to start having regular updates, including concept art for all of our backers here pretty soon. I don't know exactly when. Bernie's kind of heading up the Indiegogo, and he's not here right now, so I don't want to say anything and have him held to
He's at E3, right?
unexpected deadlines. Or deadlines I just made up. Yeah, he's at E3 right now.
I have a stretch goal for us.
What's that?
If we hit
Is it
3
mini
mi-
trophies? Because he just suggested that.
if we hit 3 million, we're gonna change the name of the movie to Laser Meme, and then the tagline is gonna be "I can have movie."
Get out. Get out. It's terrible.
So can we still come up with stretch goals at this point?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can absolutely still
Interesting.
do stretch goals.
as
Well,
many as you can think of.
One of the goals we had was if we hit 1 million before midnight last night, Brandon and Chris would wax their chests.
Yeah. Oh, I was sitting at home and we
brings
were
us
really
back.
close and we were all really excited about getting to 1 million. So I was talking to Barbara and Chris, try to figure out something dumb we could do. And I don't know why that came up.
So what's your chest look like?
It's a disaster.
Whip it out.
No,
We
I
took
don't
a
want to
video.
spoil it. We made a video of it. We're going to release it.
Do you have folliculitis yet?
What the fuck is that?
Well, you got all like follicle goop.
It doesn't look good.
No,
Goop? Like stuff comes out?
No, it's like all bumpy and nasty.
Oh.
But yeah, and there was about 20 people, like work completely stopped at this company for about an hour.
I was sitting at my desk with my headphones on, and I kept hearing screaming.
Yeah.
And it wasn't coming from the office next door, so I knew it wasn't Joel and Adam. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
they put a picture of the audience on screen of everybody who was watching me wax Brandon and Chris's chest.
Yeah, we were actually in the kitchen, and both Chris and I were just sprawled out on the kitchen table, and people are going to be eating there tomorrow morning.
At first, I was scared because you guys asked me to do it, and then I was just like, you know what?
It looks
Fuck
like
it.
an operation.
It looks like that board game operation. Like, remove
Did Chris go,
Brandon's chest hair.
Chris,
We- you know-
Chris has about 3 chest hairs, but he has a lot of hair around his nipples.
Oh.
So we had
Patrick
some
liked
fun
that
with
one.
those.
Do you
We
have to
just-
go around the nipple, or do you just
You're
go?
probably supposed to, but we just went right over it.
You went over it?
I
It'd be
wasn't.
funny if you had put a piece of pepperoni on the waxing tape before, and you pulled it up and like, oh my god! And like, trying to freak him out.
I wasn't worried about the pain. I was so worried that I was going to lose a nipple. Maybe I did. You'll have to watch it.
Brandon's legs were shaking so much when we were doing his nipple. He's just like, I really don't want to fucking lose a nipple. Holy shit. He was just like, no. You're not going to lose a nipple from wax.
You can always pop it back on. You'd have it right there.
Stretch
not
goal.
how it works.
Reattach Brandon's nipple. Just put it on ice. See if we hit that stretch goal. Get
Gross.
it back. Stretch goal. Brandon gets a third nipple.
What if we stretch your nipple on the stretch goal?
Gross.
That's why. Why is this? Why is this the thing? You know, the funny thing though is we asked Barbara to do it, and she literally has no experience waxing anybody.
Oh, I thought you meant wax her chest. That would
but
be weird.
the people that did, Blaine
Do.
has a lot of experience waxing people, and
He does?
yeah,
Apparently his dad's very hairy, so he would like.
So Blaine
wax
waxes his dad.
yeah.
That's a great mental
Probably,
image.
probably his back.
Everyone, let's just take a moment.
Do you think like for Father's Day he gives his dad a coupon that says, "Dad, dear Dad, thank you, Happy Father's Day. Here is a coupon for 1 free back waxing from Blaine." And Blaine's like, "Here you go, Dad."
My favorite part is how you started that letter with "thank you."
I didn't know where I was going with
It
it.
was Dad. Hey, Dad. Thank you, Dad.
What can I say? I'm a master when it comes to writing greeting cards for Father's Day. It's just a
Thank
second
you for
talent.
fathering me.
What
Here's
is
the
this?
back
Are we
wax.
sponsored by this or something?
No,
No, sweet.
Are
I just
these-
went to the. It's from the grocery store. You can fill up the. They have like a tap. You can go and fill up these giant bottles.
Are these the beers that you had on that podcast with Carrie and Miles,
Yes,
where they
it's-
talked about Carrie's
Yeah.
mouth?
No, the bottles have actually been washed 3 times since then.
Okay.
So don't worry. And 2 of those times were today.
So there's no boogies in here?
There's no boogies. There's no mouth runoff. We're gonna lose Brandon.
Mouth runoff.
So
Great
I-
name for a band, that one.
I have a new grievance with the office, or new problem, I should say.
Go on.
I don't know how to handle interactions at the door. Because, like, we have a double door system here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes someone will be coming out while you're going in, or someone will be in front of you, and then to be polite, they hold the door open for you. And I'm like, in my head, I just think it'd just be easier if you went ahead, and then I
Because now you have to speed up.
Because now I have to speed up, and then they're, like, standing there holding the door, like, awkwardly, and then I'm, like, having to shuffle by people. I want to make it a rule. You don't have to hold the door open for people.
Gus,
if they're carrying something, sure, that's fine to be nice.
I'm
But if they're just
100%
walking,
in agreement with you.
Me
Right?
too.
yeah.
It was
Because
hard
everyone
enough
has
to
a key
make.
card.
It was
Right.
hard enough to make a rule where people close the door.
I guess.
Do you really think you're going to establish door closing etiquette?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I'm walking from a distance, sometimes someone will see me and they'll hold the door up. I'm like, no, just okay, fine. Then I gotta like run and like, okay, thank you.
And then
run up
people
there.
feel bad.
And then they like get in, and then sometimes they'll like run up in front of me and get the other door.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no, like, it's just super awkward every time now. So like, I almost want to make it a point where if I see someone at the door, I walk to the bathroom instead, so I don't even have to deal with it.
Just to avoid that
Right, then like
situation.
they go in, they're like, okay, did I just like turn around and go right back in
You can
behind
just
them?
take a ton of phantom pisses. That
No,
don't
not
really
even.
exist.
Just like they walk in, the door closes. They don't know. I just like immediately turn around.
Is it going to be more awkward now that everybody knows this is in your head? So whenever they see you,
It might be.
I'm just
I
going to
might
slam
do
the
it
door in
myself.
front of you now from now.
Do it. That's fine. So I've had a weird thing with kind of related to you recently, where we have two different buildings here. We have stage 5, which is where we're sitting in right now, and then across the way we have our administrative building.
Yeah. It's where all the visitors go.
Right. And so I occasionally have to walk back and forth between the buildings, but inevitably, almost every day, I see the fucking British Airways flight from London to Austin, and I take a picture of it and text it to Gavin. I mean, it's like 3 times a week. It's only one flight a day. It's the only British Airways flight you can possibly see. I see it 60% of the time.
Why do you
He's
text it
texted
to
me a
Gavin?
picture of it. Well, just because the sheer
Like I started telling
luck.
Gavin about how weird it was that I always saw it, and I don't think he believed me. So like every time I see it now, I text it to him.
Yeah.
The
Are
other
you
day,
How do you know it's that one though?
you can tell by the way it's painted. It's
do you
like
have a meeting
British-
though at the same time?
No,
every day.
Like like last week, Barbara and I had an interview over in the bungalow, and then I was walking the reporter and our PR person across the parking lot, and I was like, making stupid small talk. And I was like, what's weird is, I looked at my watch. I was like, I see the same plane fly by just about every day. I said, we're about 10 minutes early right now. So there it is. I was like, the fucking flight was 10 minutes early.
And I got another text. I have, I think, like 4 or 5 pictures of this plane now from Gus in the sky. I bet I could take that flight and you would take a picture of me.
I could see we should take a picture of each other. Like, you should just take a picture of stage 5 and just flying over
the
it.
next time I take off on that flight, I'm going to look
No,
out that
I don't
window.
see the departing from Austin flight.
only
I
see it
only
coming
see
in.
it coming from London to
Okay.
Austin.
Do you
Well,
ever?
when I fly back, I'm
Yeah.
going to take a zoom lens and try and take a picture of you in the parking lot.
It reminds me of something that happens to me a lot, where I'll look at my phone, and every time I look at it, it's 3:43 p.m. Like
I have it with-
I do that every single day. I don't even know like if I'm consciously thinking about it or just it's weird.
I have it with 1:37 because on 24-hour clock it's 1337, and that just kind of sticks out in my head. And I take a screenshot of it every time I look at my phone at that. And I think during 2013 I had like 100 pictures of that because I would just check my phone and be like, oh, it's 1:37 again.
It's like a third of the day.
Yeah.
Or a third of the year, I should
Yeah.
say.
you don't think
mental.
you have like an amazing internal clock
What I'm
that
thinking-
subconsciously?
What I'm thinking is I subconsciously might check my phone more than I think, and I might see a ton of times that day. But I feel like I just happen to check, and it's always that
That's probably
time.
what it is.
Yeah, and it's just memorable to my brain, I guess.
Do you think so I've been thinking about this a bit lately. I feel like I frequently feel like my cell phone is vibrating in my pocket, and I pick it up and look at it, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like a phantom pain or phantom sensation people had before cell phones?
Cringing.
Cringy. But it's like, did anyone have that where they felt like something was buzzing, or I guess that was
I
like a
guess they
sensation
thought it-
people weren't familiar with.
Unless they thought it was a bug or something.
Maybe.
If they had the same vibrational feel, or do we only feel vibration because we're used to it?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Like I was talking to Patrick earlier before the podcast started, and I kept reaching into my pocket and pulling my phone out, and he probably thought I was fucking crazy. I was like, I can swear my phone is vibrating right now.
I am so happy to hear this because I didn't know other people that happened to other people. I thought there was something seriously wrong with my nervous
I get
system.
it. I get it when my phone's on the table, and I'll feel it. I'll be like, it definitely wasn't my phone, but I felt that.
See,
It's
that
weird.
never happens to me because my phone's always in my purse. It's never in my pocket.
Well, how do you know your purse doesn't feel it?
Gavin Free with the
I don't
conversation
know.
stoppers.
I should ask it. You should become a detective.
So you never carry it in your pocket? I guess so. Do you never? Your phone always makes noise then, right? You always
Usually.
have the audible alarms and
Well,
sounds?
if I'm at work or something, it'll be on my desk.
So do you ever turn? I know you turn sounds on your phone.
I
You're
usually have it silent, and I turn vibration off a lot because it vibrates my desk, and I just had the flashing light. But Meg hates the flashing light.
We
So
all
I
hate
turn
the
it off.
flashing light.
Everyone does.
I don't know if you remember this. We all hate the flashing light.
It's really useful when your phone isn't on you.
What about you? What do you do? Do you ever have like audible alerts on your phone on?
Not on purpose. Usually it's all always on vibrate. And I had to change my ringtone because you assholes made me feel bad about it.
What was it?
It was just me, wasn't it?
No,
I
it was
made
the
you
guys
feel
too. You
bad
guys
about
hate
it.
it. It was the mindless self-indulgence that shut me up. I've had that ringtone for like 4 years.
It was like heavy metal. It sounded like heavy metal. Is it heavy metal?
How'd it go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I
what it
had
was
to
like.
change it. I had to change it now, so I completely forgot about it.
I don't know.
It was like screaming and heavy bass and like guitar and stuff.
Oh,
But really like all of a sudden and very loud each time it would go. And it would scare the shit out of me.
You remember
every
the
single
video
time it
game
went
show
off.
that I had in college? That was like
Yeah,
the opening
yeah.
theme for it when I started, and then I went to produce it, so it has like an emotional connection, and I severed that because of you guys.
Good, I'm glad.
Thanks, dude.
Did I tell
You're
you that I
welcome.
had to change my text tone?
Why?
You know my text tone, right? It was which is piercing and annoying, and I did it because it annoys Jeff and pretty much everyone in Achievement Hunter. But then it got to the point where it would like go off in an airport, and then people would come to me and talk to me because they recognized it and knew that I was nearby.
Really?
Yeah, like fans and stuff would come and like they would know I was next to them because of that ringtone. It
really
happened
bizarre.
over
Not
and over
because you were next to them and they saw you.
No, like maybe they didn't
it would,
see
it would
him.
like they'd be like, "Oh, Gavin has that ringtone," and they would look over and see that it was actually me and come up.
That's weird.
Crazy.
So now it's different.
That's like the epitome of first world problems.
My ringtone.
I had to
ringtone-
change my ringtone because I'm too famous.
My ringtone got too famous, so I had to change it to something more obscure. You haven't heard it. Fucking ringtone hipster.
That's the thing about a lot of the stories that we can tell is that they're so douchey.
I know, they're so douchey.
Yeah.
It's so
douchey.
awful.
But it's content that happens in my life, and I feel like I should tell people.
That was one of the hardest things with the Indiegogo was choosing the different perks because it's hard not to seem douchey when you're just like, yeah, $400 for a voicemail
yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. And
Or
it's
like,
just
you spend an evening with someone and it's worth like $5,000 or something.
yeah, but it's like this is what
That's
you know.
that's a really high price hooker.
You should go back to hooking, Gus.
Just saying.
Do you think I could get $100 for this?
What? The
All of
microphone?
this?
The
What are you
microphone's
pointing
worth
at?
more than that.
It's like my bot. Oh, it is. Oh, that is put into the microphone. Do you
What
think
are
we
you
get
doing?
$100 for this microphone?
Oh, absolutely. That microphone costs way more than that.
Oh, okay.
The fact that Bernie has had his mouth on that, I think, would make it go for $100.
Just a standard mic would go for quite a bit. Yeah, but I understand what you mean about like having these dumb first world problems.
Yeah.
Like I had to go to like a big appliance store to buy a new refrigerator and a washer and a dryer, and like there was a problem in my
Best
order.
Buy.
So I had to go back to the store and I asked one of the employees, like, listen, I messed up my order. I got, the wrong cord for it. He's like, oh, go talk to that guy over there. He'll help you. So I go up to that guy and he's like, the other employee's like talking to some other customer. So I'm just standing there waiting. And then like mid-sentence talking to the customers, he turns, looks at me, goes, Gus? And he like starts immediately ignoring the customers.
Oh, no.
And I was like, no, hey, it's cool. It's like, I'm just I'll wait over here. And it's just like awkward. Like these people have no idea. They're trying to buy something. Like, no, I'm good. I'll be over there.
Yeah.
Just keeps following you.
No, he was good about it. He recovered and got back to taking care of his original customers. But I felt like an asshole because like these people are like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like we're in the middle of our transaction here, and this asshole steps up and like totally distracts our guy.
What has been your worst fan interaction, Gavin? Has anything like really embarrassing happened? Like Mrs. Hemorrhoid Cream?
No, not really. Nothing I can think of like that.
I haven't seen
Honestly, all of my embarrassing stories I tell anyway. Nothing's really private in terms of my body or anything.
I haven't seen my pharmacist in a while. The one I got the Valtrex from.
Yeah.
I don't know if he transferred or what happened to him. But every time I go to the pharmacy, I still expect to see him, and I've not seen him in about 6 months. So
Are you worried each time?
I don't worry about it. I mean, the dude already gave me Valtrex. I mean, what worst can happen at this point? Like, hey, I'm here for my Viagra.
So did your arsehole actually come out?
That was a different. Okay, so we're talking about the shingles and we're talking about hemorrhoids. You're
Yeah.
talking about the hemorrhoids now.
Yeah.
No, when I had hemorrhoids, it was like there was a little balloon inflated in my asshole. So it was like painful to sit. Like it was like a bean. Like imagine if there's a bean stuck in your asshole.
But like it's like around the anus, isn't
Right,
it?
and it's like anytime you shit, it's like the Play-Doh, the machine with like the star would come out or the half moon or whatever, and it was like you were like squeezing out a weird shaped piece of shit, and anytime you sit, you were sitting on this bean that was kind of stuck in your asshole. It was super uncomfortable. So all the time, like I would want to lay on my stomach because like laying on my back or sitting down was just so uncomfortable. But
So
no,
this-
I don't think my asshole actually came out.
So this bean, was it
Thank
just
God.
like stretched intestinal skin?
I guess.
Or was it like an extra piece of...
I think it's just like inflamed skin that's like
What?
stretched.
Because hemorrhoids could happen a number of ways, right? One is like you push too hard when you shit. One is like you sit on something flat for too long.
That's how I got
I
it.
thought you can sit on cold surfaces and get hemorrhoids.
I sat on a cold, hard concrete floor for about 14 hours straight.
I think it's because it was hard and flat. I don't think it's because it was cold.
You were
But I
wearing
don't know.
pants
Could be right.
though.
All right, well, how about
This
this?
is my underwear.
You sit on a
Alright.
cold... You sit on just a hard, flat thing, and I'll sit on a block of ice, and we'll see what happens.
But that's also hard and flat.
Oh. Well, what if we carve it into a nice curved
We
seat?
like mold your ass and then like
Carve it
make
into
a
ice.
piece of ice and just carve it so it's a perfect seat.
So you
for
had a-
Are we like bottomless or are we wearing anything?
Yeah, we can wear stuff, I guess.
Okay.
You wear underwear. That's what I wore.
You went anus to concrete, right?
Oh God, no!
No, okay.
Come on, I had a thin piece of cotton
Yeah.
separating my anus from the concrete. I was not disgusting about it.
Weren't you afraid that you're gonna try to get up, but instead of going up, you just went forward, and you'd be like scraping your butt against the cement?
It was very polished and smooth, so I mean,
Okay.
it
Your
wasn't
butt or
like
the cement?
it wasn't like
This is Gus.
Rough.
He only sits on the best cement there is.
yeah. It was a stained concrete floor. I just want to say it was a nice apartment.
Best of the best for Gus Sorola.
Yeah.
Did you move house yet?
No, I'll be moving soon in a few weeks. I want to ask you about your move. I'm going to read this, then I'm going to ask you about some stuff. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by. So yeah, I'll probably be moving in a couple of weeks, and like I'm in that phase where that's why I was buying some appliances and shit, and like trying to get everything organized and trying to remember to change like addresses and get services set up.
Yeah.
So you had a fuck up with that.
Yeah, well, I forgot about gas. You need that apparently for hot water and stuff.
That's why Gavin's wearing a hat. Is because this is the first time I
Didn't-
think he hasn't
Didn't shower
showered.
today.
I have never in the 10 years I've known Gavin, I've never seen his hair greasy before.
You should.
I also did a lot of strenuous exercise today for a
He
video.
masturbated.
I've also got this really cool feature with my house where if you turn on one sink, the sink in the other room fills up with water. That's a great feature.
What do you mean?
It's blocked or something. I need a plumber.
Oh my god! You
We're
think the inspector didn't catch that?
I guess not. We're
What
only
a
like
shit inspector!
we're only like
You'd think they would test that, like turn the water on. Uh-oh.
Well, there's only one inspector. How is he supposed to know? He just turns the water here. It's okay.
and if you turn on both at the same time, they both fill up and then it just sits there. And then like after like 5 minutes it starts draining away.
Oh my god.
See, I don't understand why to own a house.
Yeah, I
Like,
like
you
why
just-
did I do that?
You buy it, and it's a lot of money, and then you put a lot of money into it, and then
Constantly.
you're like, well, you can sell it for a lot. But it's like something is only good when you don't need it anymore. And then you sell it to buy something else that's now more expensive too.
Right, but you think about it this way. When you sell it, it's like you're recouping part of your rent. So it's like instead of paying rent and paying money to some other asshole who's getting rich off of you, you're paying money to yourself in a shitty savings account. It's like you're putting money in that shitty savings account. It's not all going to be there when you move out, but at some point in the future, you're going to get that money back.
And then it
I'm
works
still, I'm
out
going
to you.
to end up paying less money though.
Yeah, but then over
renting.
time, it's
No,
like
that's not
you
true.
paid like $200 a month to live in the house.
Right. So like I'm in the process of selling my house. Like when I sell it, it'll be like I lived there for a bunch of years and I paid about $200 a month in rent.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
The thing is, Brandon,
Good living.
for you and I, it doesn't make sense to own a house because we don't live with someone else. We live alone, both
Right.
of us. So why would we have a house?
It's
What
just-
are we going to do with a house?
From
Screen.
what I understand, what the people told me, mortgage would be way more than what I pay in rent. And on top of that, when a pipe breaks, it's like give us some thousands of dollars. When your AC breaks, same thing.
And you have to fix it.
Yeah, and then it's like I'll
You
get
pay
all
someone
this
to
money
fix it.
back when I don't want the thing anymore. And then the rest of the homes around you are more expensive too.
You know what the best thing is? Like being in an apartment, I had a hornet's nest on my balcony. All I did was go online, put a service request in saying there's a hornet's nest on my balcony. I came home and it was gone.
Light bulb out.
Didn't have
Fucking
to
change
do-
that light bulb.
Didn't have to do shit. Didn't have to touch anything. I came home and it was gone.
I could do that. I
Didn't
could
have
just.
to pay anybody.
Someone was like tromping around in your.
I don't give a shit. I don't
Your
have
apartment.
anything expensive.
I'm gonna start
in my
doing that. I'm gonna
apartment.
start doing service requests and just sending them to myself.
You should email them to
Mr. Free.
to everyone at Rooster Teeth and see if anyone goes and fixes your shit for you. I need a plumber to come out. My sinks aren't draining fast enough.
The good thing is though, is that a lot of people here have actually done actual jobs before they had Rooster Teeth.
Do you saying this isn't an actual job?
I'm absolutely saying this is an actual job. Do you think this is a job?
This is a real job.
Nah.
I worked hard.
Talking
at
about
this.
like Michael, who's been an electrician.
Yeah, like Michael was an electrician. Patrick the other day was giving me plumbing advice because of my drain problem.
Was he a plumber?
That wasn't the other day. It was earlier today. I don't know if he's a plumber. He just knows about plumbing. He's like, yeah, you want to like unscrew this bit and then like snake it in like this. And I was like, no, I'll give that a go. And then I'm gonna call him when I
can't
mess it up.
imagine you doing that successfully.
The only thing I've ever snaked was my dad has this aquarium, and after like 6 months, it just gets caked in like fish shit, like all the way up the pipes. And I like pushed this thing all the way down it, and it like totally cleaned it. Like it was amazing. You push it in, and all the poo comes off, but then it ends up in this big clump at the end. And I pulled the thing out, and it was like really in there, and it was like kind of bungee kind of material. Whipped it out. I got like a stripe of fish shit like all across my face, and threw up immediately. So I think that's how it's gonna go if I have to snake my own pipes.
Then you have to snake it again after that before you vomit.
So gross, dude. Like 6 months of compacted fish feces.
We have a goldfish at my house in Ottawa, and it's probably the biggest goldfish I've ever seen. It's probably about 6 inches long or so,
Easily impressed.
and it's been alive for like 5 or 6 or 7 years, maybe even more.
Or 8.
It's so big that it's outgrown the tank it's in, and every time it shits, it scares itself. So it'll thrash around like crazy and like start like bumping into the walls of the tank and like moving the rocks around. So we could always tell when the fish shits because you hear just like thunk, 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 thunk.
Well, because it's so big, it's like scared of what a new thing that's in the tank with it.
It like lets it shit out, but like thrashes around to like get the shit out of its ass, I guess.
Is it a cool looking fish?
I want to eat it. It looks delicious.
Okay.
It's just like a big fat goldfish.
What
you, a
fucked up thing to
cat?
say about a
You
family
can't-
pet?
Its name is Mr. Fishy,
Who named it?
my little brother.
You want to eat your goldfish? It would
wanna
be
eat Mr.
gross.
Fishy.
I always make jokes to my little brother about wanting to eat it because I know that it would make him sad.
How long have y'all had it?
Like probably over 7 years, I think.
Jesus, I didn't think goldfish live more than like.
They said it would last about maybe 2 or 3 years at tops.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
I once knew someone who had a goldfish bowl below a dartboard, and it didn't end well.
What?
There were two fish. And on a dartboard, there's to differentiate between the colors. Sometimes there's metal
Right.
Yeah.
wire, and the dart just bounced straight up off the dartboard, went straight down through one of the fish, and the other fish died as well from like just the blood and stuff.
Oh, from the shock.
I used to have
So bad.
years ago, like 10 years ago, no, longer than 10 years ago, a long time ago. I used to have this little beta fish.
I also had a beta fish.
I called him Max Power, and
Mine was Johnny Bravo.
I kept Max Power in a little bowl on a shelf, and the shelf was like right above my couch. So imagine if there was like a shelf up behind you, and then there was like a bowl with a beta fish up there. One day I'd cleaned his water out and put in new water, put him on the shelf. Sat down, I was watching The Matrix on DVD or some shit, right? It's like the year 2000, and
That's what people did back then.
Right, it's like
Yeah.
wow, I just bought a DVD player just to watch The
They
Matrix,
watched The Matrix.
and I turned around to look at the fishbowl, and it was gone.
The fish bowl.
The fish was gone.
Oh.
I was like, it was just like a bowl of water. I was like, where the fuck did the fish go? So like, I start looking around like on the counter and then like in the kitchen. Like, I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, what the
Ew.
fuck? Then I sit down. I'm like, wait a minute, am I sitting on it?
Oh,
no! So I stood up, and it was between my fucking couch cushions. Like, I guess I'd put too much water in it. It had jumped out and it like got in between the couch cushions. So like, I was like, oh shit! And I put him back in the water. He just like kind of floated sideways. And I was like, oh no, I fucked up. Like, when I put so much water in there, he lived.
Yeah,
No way.
those
You
types of fish
fucking
could
live.
live outside of water for like I think a couple hours.
Yeah.
Fish are
Yeah.
really resilient. I was once, as another like cleaning my aquarium thing, there was this big castle, I guess, piece of scenery that was in the aquarium, really heavy, like way heavier than this. and I like cleaned it and I hosed it all off, put it back in, and we had these angelfish that are about this big, and I was like, where's one angelfish that's not here? And I saw it like compressed by this castle. It was just like its head was poking out. I was like this. I was like, I've just crushed this fish to death. And I pulled the castle up and it floated and then just went and just carried on living.
Wow.
It lived longer than all of the other ones.
And it was heavier than this?
Yeah, it was just like smushed
beer.
against
When in
all
water,
the...
things are lighter.
It's true.
But like everything you describe does not compare to the ocean at all. Like if you're watching these sea documentaries, like every single second, it's like what's about to eat me, what's about to attack me, what can I attack,
I've
what
seen
can I
Finding
eat,
Nemo.
and it's from like every direction.
Patrick
like
was telling me a story earlier. I guess that there were these scientists who were tracking great white sharks, and they put a tracker on a 9-foot-long great white shark, and they said that the shark was out swimming around in the ocean, and I think he said that it was swimming at like depths of 50 feet, and they could watch it where it was going, and then all of a sudden they said the tracker just fucking plummeted straight down, and then like got stuck down there, and then like 3 days later the tracker washed up on the shore.
Whoa.
So they think like something from deeper came up, grabbed a 9-foot-long great white shark,
And just
ate
dragged it down.
dragged it
Yeah.
down,
Oh my god.
and then like shit out the receiver 3 days later.
Yeah.
So
Oh
the
my
scientists are
God.
like, "What the fuck was that thing that just ate that shark?"
They should have put a camera on it.
Well, there's nothing bigger than a whale because the whale's the perfect size for water, right, Gavin?
And sharks can't look down, right?
I guess
they're just
I
going
also-
like they're just moving. They can't just stop and like tilt.
Also, we think of them as like an apex predator in the ocean. Like, what eats that? Something bigger and
giant.
some
Maybe
deeper.
the shark just went down. Maybe it went mental and just like swam all the way down, like thrashing about. Maybe it took a shit.
Barbara's a little too pleased with herself on that. It's not a goldfish, Barbara. Be serious.
That's why like Star Wars was terrifying for me. Because remember they were going through the center of Naboo and there were those giant sea monsters. That stuff terrifies me. Like sea creatures, especially even creatures on Earth that are long dead in the sea, they're terrifying. They're huge.
Aren't you
And-
from Houston?
Yeah. What does that have to do with
That's
anything?
coastal, isn't it? Is that why you're afraid of stuff from the sea?
Houston is kind of coastal on the way east side. Galveston is the only thing people really go to.
I love the fact that Houston was not a coastal city, and they said, "Fuck it, we're going to bring the ocean to Houston."
And they're like-
They dug a giant trench from the ocean to Houston because they wanted to be on the coast.
I
So
think
they just modified the
Yeah, it's the Houston Ship Channel.
They just terraformed.
They dug like a 40-mile long channel to bring the ocean to Houston so they could ship shit out of there on boats.
I think Houston was a scam. I think it was like these brothers promised. Maybe I'm thinking of the story, but they promised like all this great land, and people bought all this land in Houston. And they got here,
Well,
and it was
one of the
nothing but
reasons that
swamps
Austin is all that
or
is all like
bayous.
white chalk is because it was all underwater, right?
Right.
It was like so flat that it was underwater.
It was the sea, I guess, extended over here, and we were underwater until fairly recently in a geologic time sense.
Yeah. So is there like fish and stuff on land? Fossils?
I assume so.
That'd be
Well,
cool.
no, the ocean probably didn't recede all at once.
Oh, yeah. It probably didn't go like, psh.
Yeah.
No, but stuff would have died on it.
But I think that's why you see, like in Austin, you'll still find like old fossilized seashells sometimes.
Really?
think-
Where?
You never seen it? Like if you just like dig around, you'll find it.
No.
Yeah.
I don't usually. I'm not just like out digging about downtown.
I
or
grew up as
something.
a little boy in Texas. It's like you just dig and like try to find shit to fuck up.
Is that why you were so good at finding those toy cars on that immersion
Oh
ship?
my god. Oh, we can talk about that now, can't we?
we're filming the trials immersion, and there's this big concrete pipe. I don't know what it would be used for.
Yeah, so it's like if you imagine on the trials immersion, you're at the camera looking at the track. If you walk backwards behind the camera, it's just a big open field.
Yeah, I
And-
took a picture of you in that field and tweeted it.
Right.
Sasquatch.
And in that field was just like a big concrete pipe. How was it, like a 5 or 6 foot diameter?
You could
Taller.
you
I
could
think you
stand
could stand.
upright in it without banging your head. And
Uh.
Michael and I were like running up and down it, pretending we were on skateboards and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we found one of those tech deck little mini skateboards. So we're doing like tricks and we're trying to like get it to go all the way around by kicking it. And then Gus was like, I wonder if there's
No, I said, well, it was missing like a wheel or
Yeah.
something. And I was like, you could find something better than that. Hold on. And I just started walking around looking for toys in the field. And I started finding Hot Wheels.
He came back with a car with 4 wheels. And we're like, where did you get this thing?
I was like, it's over there. And I go, watch, I'll get you another one. And I walked back out there and I found another one. And I came back with another car. I was like, look, this one's even better.
I
So
bet you Gus has a secret stash of Hot Wheels in his pockets.
In his pockets. He was like, I'm so happy I got to use these finally. But we have a whole video
Finally.
now where Michael and I are trying to get 2 cars to go around, like encounter each other.
Do you get it?
I think we got it.
You got it like on the first try.
And I was filming on my phone in slow-mo, so you can see him like
I heard
driving.
cheers
up the
coming out of that pipe while I was just sitting.
All you could hear was a load of muffled.
It was
Yay.
like, whoa.
It was boring.
I think the first time before you found the car, you found an axle from like a bigger car.
Oh right, yeah, I
was
forgot
like,
about that.
I found you some wheels for your skateboard. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Just scavenging.
yeah,
in
it
the
was,
forest.
and then we couldn't find anything good after that. Like we were like, surely we'd find more stuff. It was all shit.
Yeah. And there's a bit where I'm interviewing Gus. I'm like, "What are you doing, Gus?" As he's walking through the field, he's like, "I'm looking for toys."
And that was one of those moments where I was like, this is what my life has become. I'm at work on a job, looking for toys in the middle of nowhere in a field.
Yeah, that should particularly. You guys were not actually on screen very much.
Yeah, that was a very long day of nothing.
Yeah.
That was the piano tiles day.
It was the piano tiles day. It's burned into my memory forever.
Yeah.
Because all I heard was beep, 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 brr, beep, 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 brr.
Well, then to make it extra annoying, I turned off the piano sound and just made the
Robot sounds.
Yeah.
Where it's all the same sound every time you press something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't annoying at all.
You seemed annoyed at the time.
You.
Are we talking about what's being shot this week or not?
I don't know, so I'd say no.
It's,
All right.
it's been mentioned on Twitter by Matt.
Oh, has it? Well, there you go. Say it then. I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm just gonna drink my beer.
I assume you're talking about day 5.
Ooh, Barbara.
Yes. Day 5
Shouldn't have
is
said that.
in production, finally. Matt tweeted about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they started actually shooting on Sunday,
Yeah.
and everything they've gotten so far is really, really cool.
There's a lot of shit coming up
Yeah.
in terms of productions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff concurrently. We've split off into teams.
So
Basically,
this-
Doreen and Matt are on day 5, and then there's another project that Chris and I are on.
And Matt just came back from Toronto. I went to Toronto
Yeah.
with Matt and Megan, and we filmed a Bare Naked Ladies music video.
And you almost got deported.
She had some,
What?
had some
happened?
troubles at the border.
Do you wanna talk about
I don't
that?
really know if I should talk
Did you
about it.
call Ed? Like,
But it was awesome. We spent the whole day filming the Bare Naked Ladies. Matt was like, I hope to be done by 7. We wrapped at like 6:59. It was
Wow.
awesome.
We were trying to figure it out because for some reason, Canadian border people are like notorious for being assholes. And I don't
I
know
thought
why.
Canadians were meant to be polite.
was this
And-
when you were going into Canada? or
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's because this is just speculation, obviously. Canadians are known for being so polite and so nice, and so people probably think that they could walk all over them. So these border patrol people
They
probably
like
just
breed hateful Canadians just to put them on the border.
or they like are purposefully assholes to disprove the theory of them being all
Yeah.
nice.
It was
Do you think that they allow certain amount of Americans to immigrate to Canada every year? And they're like, in order to immigrate to Canada, you have to work the border
You
for
have to work-
5 years.
It's very possible.
It was terrifying. But we had a great day shooting. We had like 4 different locations on the video, and we brought the Phantom and did some slow-mo stuff too. It's a very short song though, so I'm not sure if any of that will make it in.
I'm
But it
sure
was
it
fun. And then after that we went back to Ed's house and played pinball because
Are
he
you
has
serious?
5 pinball machines.
are
in
you
his
serious?
house.
Does he have the Addams Family pinball game?
And there's me and Ed Robertson.
He's
That's
so
cool.
cool.
Is the Addams Family?
I love it.
No, we mainly played the Metallica pinball. It was awesome. It was really because he's really into pinball. It was really interesting hearing about like all the different stuff you can do with pinball machines. And he like walked me through like how you do diagnostics on them and everything.
I
It
need
was really
to live
interesting.
vicariously through you. Did you eat Tim Hortons or Poutine or any other Canadian treats?
I had the worst poutine ever.
Oh, why? Where?
Well, I've been to Haymaker where they have poutine and it's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Oh,
like
that was not an
gravy.
improving.
Well, you've also when you were at RVBTO with me, you had
Yeah.
actual poutine.
But what
that
I'm
you
saying is
enjoyed.
I've been to places where it's away from Canada and it's good.
Yeah.
I was in a hotel in Canada and it was fries
Yeah.
with just a clump of like all the cheese curds were clumped together in a lump and there was no gravy until
No gravy?
until we like looked underneath and all the gravy was just in the bowl.
They
But
put the gravy on
They put the
first?
gravy in first, put fries on the top, and then took all the cheese and made it like
Where
a
were
cherry
you? What hotel is this?
crap hotel.
Oh, I'm gonna call him.
It was
I'm gonna
really
have words with
disappointing.
this hotel. That's really sad.
Poutine's good though.
It is. Did you have any Tim Hortons?
No.
I was hoping you would bring me back some
Didn't
secretly.
have time.
But then
Careful,
then
you're about
I
you're-
realized who Gavin is.
You're about to get a fuck ton of it in the mail now.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I've had similar tough experiences getting into Canada in the past before, and I definitely agree with you that I think they put like their hard asses on the border or something.
I've had
Although the
trouble
worst-
getting out of Canada.
They're not Mounties, are they? Because that'd be awesome.
The worst experience I ever had, it wasn't me who had it, I've told this before, is one time when I was going to London for MCM a couple years ago, I saw like the immigration officers pull people aside, put them like in a little holding area and just start yelling at them. like out there in the middle of the line in front of everyone else.
Jesus.
Like when you get to
crazy.
Heathrow, there's like those 2 big snaking lines
What? So you could hear the
to
yelling.
get in there. Yeah, and then between the lines, there's like just separated by like little metal rails was like a little square. There were like 4 dudes in there, and then the immigration officers came in and just like started
Did
screaming
you
at
hear
them.
what they were yelling
Yeah, they're
about?
like, "I'm done with your lies. Why are you trying to come into England? Tell me the truth. I don't want to hear another story." It was like, okay. It was like
Wow.
there was like total bad cop, worst cop. Like there was no good cop at all.
See, the
in
interesting thing about the Canadian border was that usually you go up to a line of desks, and that's what happens. They don't question you at that desk. They ask you what you're there for, and if they think that something's up, they just mark your customs card.
Don't they do that everywhere?
But I thought they would have questioned me there. So basically what happened, they drew this big symbol on my thing, like in pink highlighter. It was like a big Z with a line through it, and then just gave it back. And I was like, all right, thanks. And then the next row of people see that, and they pull you into another room. So you don't really know you're in trouble until you've already walked through.
Yeah.
And by that point,
you
it's
think
like,
you're scot-free.
yeah.
And then they're
Yeah,
like, nope.
when I went to Paris for Minecon a couple of years ago, it was a similar thing where they check your passport and everything, and then they have like different lines with different letters. Like, all right, go ahead and get in line G, and you can't see where they go because they like all go in different directions and then start
Yeah.
like crossing each other. And it isn't until the very end you're like, oh shit, I got in the bad line.
Yeah, I've had it before coming into the US as well, where they would just draw a funny symbol on my card, and I'd be like, what does this mean? And you hand it to the guys, and then the guy's like, all right, go through there. And it was at that point that they just dismantled all of my luggage, like took every single thing out, and I was there for like 40 minutes while they did that.
Wow.
Put it all back in, everything was fine. but it's
Why
just
did
like,
they target you?
I think it's because I was young and I was staying in the US for like 3 months.
Also, Gavin has a problem, and I've told him this before. When people start questioning him, he gets very rude. Like,
It's not like getting rude. I just don't like being.
you just like, you can't be bothered. So you're just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Like, yeah, what you on about? Like, it's like for that situation, like at the border with police officers, any form of authority, you are supposed to be so fucking nice that like the sweetness is just
I
seeping out
expect
of
to
your
be
teeth.
okay. This is how the interaction went with Mr. Canada border. He's like, "Where's your paperwork?" And I'm like, I show him my US visa because I'm traveling with the company that I work for. So I'm like, "This is my visa to work with this company." He looked at it and goes, "This is for America. You're in Canada." And at that point, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be a prick about it. Here we go." And at that point, I was just like, if he was like, you need like paperwork and stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But you're okay with making your life worse? Like you're making it harder for yourself?
Yeah.
Because like no matter how,
It's not like I'm doing it to. I just can't help it. Like when someone has that attitude at me, it just shuts me down. I'm like,
See, I got fucked over by someone like that one time. We were driving through the American-Canadian border
Coming-
from Canada to America.
Okay.
And my friend Brittany was driving, and she is like the same way as Gavin. If someone of authority starts questioning her, she just gets really bitchy and just like
well, when you're
attitude.
innocent, you expect you want to be treated innocent, right? Until you're proven guilty.
Yeah, but she just gets an attitude, like even if they're not asking crazy questions. And they started asking her stuff, and she was just extremely passive aggressive and would like brush them off. And she's just like, "Why does it matter? Why do you need to know?" And I'm just like sitting in the back, like, holy shit. So they asked us to pull up and like go to the side to get the entire car checked out. Obviously, we weren't doing anything wrong, but it added an extra hour and a half to our trip.
yeah, but
because we
when
had to
someone's
sit there.
talking to you like that, you're like, oh, I hope they have something.
No, but
You know,
like,
like, you're
it's
just-
so much
you're-
easier if you're just nice.
Yeah, I
and you just
agree.
get it over with.
So I grew up on the U.S.-Mexico border, on the U.S. side. And there's an interesting thing where I guess, unless you live on the border, you don't realize this. But in the United States, like I lived in the United States, if I drove on any highway out of the city I grew up in, about 30 miles outside, on every highway, there's an immigration checkpoint. Where you're in the U.S., you have to pull over, and then you have to explain where you're going and that you're an American citizen. And I fucking hated those things when I was younger. And sometimes they'll ask you to pull over, and they want to inspect your car to make sure you're not carrying drugs or illegal immigrants. So anytime they would ask me to pull over, I'd get out of my car, lock it, and be like, "You can't look in it."
Why would you do that?
Because I had time. I had nothing to do. And they were like, "We just need to look at your car, sir." And I'd be like, "No, I don't give consent. You can't look." They'd be like, "Are you hiding something?" I'd be like, "No." "Well, why won't you let us look?" It's like, "Because I don't want you to look at my car." And then they'd like all go and they'd go like huddle up and talk. They'd be like, we can call the dogs out here. We can have the dogs sniff your car. I was like, "All right, go ahead."
Sniff the car.
Waste your time.
And then
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Well, it's going to take 2 hours for the dogs to get here." I'd be like, "All right, can I wait in my car?" and then go off and then huddle up again, and then come back like, all right, you can go.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I guess because
I would always call their bluff. They've never call the fucking dogs. And now I'm never going back, so they're going to call the dogs.
So even if you've shown them your passport and then you're American,
You don't have to show paperwork at this checkpoint. It is literally, there's a guy, you roll down your window, he goes, where are you going? Oh, where are you headed to? And you tell him, he's like, all right, what were you doing in the border town? Okay, and then based on, I guess, whether or not you have an accent and whether or not your story seems plausible about why you were at the border, then they decide whether or not to further inspect you.
So why did they want to further inspect you?
Because I was a young guy going to the border, driving back to Austin. Like, this guy's got to have weed on him. I do that every time.
Get the dogs.
Yeah, so it's like, I just hated having to do it. Nowadays, I would easily let him search because I don't want to fucking sit there and wait. This is like me when I was like a snotty teenager, and had plenty of time to waste.
I will say that at the Canadian border, once they like checked us out and found out that we weren't doing anything illegal and everything was fine, he was nice. He like returned to a normal human being. It was like, well, here's what you should do in future if you want to do this because blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, cool. Where were you 5 minutes ago when you were making me almost crap my pants?
Have you ever seen Nightmare Before Christmas?
No.
You know the mayor has like the nice face and the mean face. I feel like that's that cop.
He's like, it's almost like the Lego movie as well.
Yeah,
Like good
Liam
cop,
Neeson.
bad cop.
Yeah. That's a better example.
I
Something more
just thought a
current.
second to go over there. Here, let me read this thing. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by...
If you were getting a washer and dryer delivered and it didn't fit through your door, would you be annoyed if the delivery guys just took your front door off?
Let me say something about Squarespace before I answer that question. I hadn't used the service in a while until this here like last week or 2 weeks ago. I signed up and like went through it again because I wanted to refamiliarize myself with it since they'd had some platform changes. It's shocking how fucking easy it is to build a website. Really? It's like you literally just like that looks good for a template and you're like here you literally just drag pictures onto your browser and you have a website.
It's also amazing how difficult it is to make a website if you don't have something like that. If you're just trying to code a website and you're just learning, it looked crap.
Yeah, I made some
like,
shitty websites when I was a kid. I was like, BR.
Then if you go through like the back end, there's like an enable developer mode where you can like manually edit the code yourself and do that if you want. It's like, enter developer mode. It's like, are you sure you want to do this? You can really break your site. Like, yeah sure, whatever. Get in there, just fuck around. You break your site. It's like, oh, oops, undo.
Because like HTML is not like real programming code. You can just do whatever and it'll make something.
Yeah.
Like things just don't break. You're like, I'm sure this is fine.
Anyway, about your story. Well, did they put the door back on?
Yeah, but the weird thing, they just took it off without asking.
It's not a big deal.
No?
If I were home, I would prefer they asked. I mean, I'm there. There's no reason not to, right? But it really, taking a door off and putting it back on just takes like a minute or two.
Did they put it back on?
Yeah, I just was surprised. They just took off the door.
Was it like your front door?
It's back now.
It was the front door. Yeah, it's back on.
Funny if they just left and didn't put it back. It's like
They put it on upside down.
No, they take it off and they're like, to put it back on, it's $200.
that's what they should have done.
It's like, it's a door delivery fee.
Would you be
Genius.
annoyed if I took the front door off this building and then put it back on?
I'd be kind of amazed if you did that. Actually, that door's fucking heavy as shit.
That door almost killed you last week.
Was it last week or was it the week before? Yeah, it was during the super fight.
Super fight stream, yeah.
What's that?
We did a sponsor cut a couple weeks ago, and I opened the door, but I only opened it barely enough to run through, and I started running through, and as I got through the door, it like closed on me and crushed me, and I made the audible noise like so like I came like limping onto the set right before that. I was like, oh, the door crushed me. Like it like dead on my shoulder, just like slammed down on me, like knocked the air out
Just
of me.
the idea of Gus getting crushed by a door is amazing.
I would love to see that, but only from an X-ray point of view, like watching a dude skeleton and all his bones get closer together.
It's like when you put the giant castle on the fish. The building's like, whoa, that one kept living.
That
would have been an amazing eulogy.
Yeah.
Like understanding what happened to Gus. That's like a Reddit death. That's my biggest fear in life, is dying in a way that's going to be on Reddit and everybody's going to laugh because how stupid it is.
Death by waxing.
Did you
Death
have
by
a real
waxing, exactly.
Did you have a real job before this?
No. I had a job kind of doing this at UT.
So you ever had like a manual labor job?
Oh, well, I was a waiter at
Holy crap.
Bennigan's. Perhaps you've heard of the amazing Bennigan's restaurants.
Very
No.
nice.
Yeah.
Sure have. Obviously, you have had multiple jobs. And Gus has. A lot of
Yeah,
people
but manual labor, I mean, As far as manual, I had like stupid jobs in the past. You know, I was a secretary at a lawyer's office for a while.
Yeah.
I worked at an office supply store.
I'm picturing you in like a dress suit. Like,
Yeah.
Were you answering the phone?
Yeah.
Hello, lawyers.
So and it was hard because I grew up on the border, so I was the secretary at a law office on the border. And so you have to deal with clients who speak both English and Spanish. My
English.
Spanish is not that great.
Neither
So
do I.
I'd have to like pick up the phone and like if people started speaking to me in Spanish, be like, oh shit, okay. And I tried to not sound like an idiot because I'm representing a lawyer's office. Like try to be as professional as I could with like a 4th grade vocabulary. It was really difficult. It's like I could understand everything, and I would tell them like, listen, I understand everything you're telling me. It's hard for me to talk back to you, though. Can we just do this in English?
Do you think like listen to everything they say? Be like, I understand. How can help you?
Okay, transfer good. Bye.
Do you think when they came in the office and they met you in person, they were like, "Oh, where were you? I called here earlier, and this asshole was talking to me." Except, imagine I just said that in Spanish. I don't know how that was.
no hablo español.
Odor?
I'm dating a girl
Hodor.
from Mexico, and her parents don't speak Spanish, and we hung out like all weekend.
They don't speak Spanish?
I'm sorry, they don't speak English.
Okay, so that's a
I was like, what's the problem?
No.
That's a good scenario for you.
So it was just like very basic communication. Like it reminded me of what cavemen.
You
like,
didn't
how
do
they
the
used to
thing where you
communicate.
like speak louder, thinking that they
No,
can understand you.
I did try like my Spanish one. You know, it's like "Donde es biblioteca?"
Why is
They
so
got a
I have
joke.
a question for
Go to the
you.
library.
People who don't speak Spanish know 2 words. Biblioteca and pantalones. What is it about
Well,
those 2 fucking words?
Bibliothèque is library in so many languages.
Right.
French. No. German.
Bibliothèque, right?
French.
Yeah.
Is it French as well? There you go.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
those are 2 words that everyone knows and uses.
discotheque.
Because every Spanish book, when they say "Donde está," when they teach you what does that mean, it's biblioteca, and there's like a little illustration. I don't know, but it's just standard.
Do you speak any languages besides English?
I kind of speak Spanish.
Spanish. Well, you can ask where the library is. Can you ask where other things are?
Like what? The pantalones.
Jugendherberge.
So we should probably tell everybody at the office to stop watching the E3 stream because our site's down because of all the people streaming.
It's not people at our office.
Oh,
No.
okay. Never mind. Scratch that.
Our site is down.
Our site's having some problems right now because there's so much streaming going on the internet that how we stream our video is getting bombarded with requests from all around the world to watch
Okay.
E3
I
streams.
misread
So the
the
world
message.
internet is taking a hit.
which
right
is causing our stream to be laggy, which is causing people to refresh on our website a whole bunch. So imagine if everyone on our website's refreshing constantly instead of just being able to
So
sit
pretty
and
much
watch.
nobody's watching this live right now.
No, there's people watching live.
Oh.
Just
Hi,
people
everyone.
who have not tried to start refreshing things constantly. Congratulations. You state the course. Thank you. So you have very rudimentary Spanish.
Yes.
Spanish 1, did you take that in high school or college?
I took it in high school and in college, and I took Spanish 2 in college. And then I just switched to Midland Community College online, and I took Spanish 3 and 4 in 1 semester. And you mostly just conjugate.
And that's
Midland
all you know
Community
from Spanish?
College
And that's all you know?
online. Yeah.
What about you, Barbara?
Spanish,
No, what languages do you know besides English?
French, and a little bit of Hebrew.
You're pretty fluent in French?
I could understand it way better than I could speak it.
Speak some Jew.
Jesus.
It's called Hebrew.
Do some.
Shalom, Hashem shalit zipora, ani medaberet ivrit.
That sounds French to me.
It's
I
impressive.
think she's lying. What about you? You speak. I've asked you this before.
German.
You speak some German.
By the way, my Hebrew name is Sipora, for anybody who understood that in Hebrew. Okay, good.
Sipora.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Continue.
I did 5 years of German.
5
Forgotten 4 years of it.
Say
Probably.
something in German.
9.
How do you
Wow.
ask where the library is in German?
Wo ist die Bibliothek?
Okay.
Probably. I don't know.
It sounded good. I believed it.
It's the right words. I'm not sure if the words are in the right order.
Ani רוצה ללכת אל השירותים.
Is that the same thing you said before?
Nope.
Was that library?
That means I have to go to the bathroom. I don't actually have to go to the bathroom. But those are like the only things I really remember because that comes in handy when you're in places that you need to speak
Some
Hebrew.
words in German just sound so good to yell. Like Schloss.
Scheiße.
But they're words that you wouldn't want to yell. Like I just yelled castle, but it doesn't make any sense.
They mentioned a new car on that live stream today, like in Forza. I forget what it's called. It's like Nuva
You
ring.
say Nuva ring?
It's not called Nuva ring.
It's not called Nuva ring.
You
I'm
will not
sure.
get knocked up in it.
I forget what it's called.
Koenigsegg?
No, I don't remember. It was with an N, and I was making fun of it, and someone's like, "Your last name's German. Don't you know any German?" And it's like, that doesn't know. That's not correlated, but okay. Sorry.
So your last name is Darkman.
Dark man.
Dark.
My full name completely, Barbara Dunkelman, means exotic dark man.
Barbara means exotic?
It sure does. It means exotic in cultures.
It's like the biggest old person name ever.
Exotic. It took a while.
Barbara Dunkelman or exotic dark man? Which one's?
Either way. I feel like you don't meet many Barbaras anymore.
Tell me about it. Every time I introduce myself to someone new and I say, "Hi, I'm Barbara," they go, "Oh, that's my grandmother's name."
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think you brought Barbara back from the dead.
Yeah, I
did.
can see it.
Oh, I didn't do it. My parents did it.
Yeah.
They named me Barbara. Thanks.
Shout out to the
you.
Dunkelmans once again.
Do you think that, like, most people, if we were to go around and did, like, a survey at Rooster Teeth, do you think most people would do know a second language or not know a second language?
I think
That's
most
always
people do.
fascinating to me. You think most
I
people
think
It
do?
most
depends what
people
you qualify knowing it.
Like, if they got dropped in that country, could they get out of that country and back to the United States?
Probably not then. I think a lot of people have basic knowledge of a second language,
Mm-hmm.
probably Spanish or French, if I had to guess. But fluent or like enough to have a conversation, probably not.
Like, we were messing around with that app a couple weeks ago on our phone, that word lens,
Yeah.
which is fucking
Oh.
crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised that didn't take off more. It's amazing technology.
Yeah,
It's 4 years old.
It's like live Photoshop. It's good for menus and stuff.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that I look at and makes me feel like I'm in the future.
Yeah.
Where it's like you just look at your phone and it's like taking a picture of what's on the other side of it and translating it on the fly.
That's something that'd be cool to be incorporated in Google Glass.
Yeah.
Like that practically makes sense.
It probably will be.
Yeah, I think Google acquired that company.
Did they?
Yeah, that's why the app and all of the language packs were free a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
I
okay.
wish there was
Google
more
bought them.
augmented reality stuff. I was thinking today when I was on the way to the office, you can see that big water tower that's near where we work, and you can see it really far away.
Yeah, the
And
one
I was
that's like right here.
Yeah, and I was thinking it'd be useful if there was an app where, if you set a destination on a map and hold up the camera, if it like emitted this like beam of light on the camera from where you were going, it'd be cool just to see how like where it was in relation
That's
to.
almost like something from a video game.
Yeah, but I bet it'd be super easy to do.
Yeah.
You just have to.
It
It
just
has to
figures
know.
out like, the GPS coordinate.
Yeah, and it has to see like recognize buildings in front of it to put it behind that and stuff. It could probably be done.
Yeah, it probably doesn't even need to recognize the buildings if it just knows like the latitude and longitude, and then it knows the orientation of where you're looking at.
Yeah,
It could probably just drop it regardless of that.
I bet it's probably already exists. Thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a good idea,
Yeah,
which makes me think someone has already made it.
Yeah.
Isn't that frustrating? You think you have a great idea, and you look like, oh yeah, someone already made it.
yeah.
I feel like that would be so frustrating being an app developer. It's just like all ideas are taken.
Yeah.
You're done.
And then someone makes Flappy Bird though.
It's true, but then someone makes Flappy Bug and Flappy Cat.
Right, but there's always the one that's first, and like that dude made tons of money and is probably set.
They might have been saying that though for generations. Like people say, "Oh, you can't do anything else." And then something like the microchip comes out and opens up all these possibilities. Jokes, though, I think all the jokes are done. Like all the jokes have been made.
Yeah, I was.
What are you talking about?
all
There's like new tragedies that haven't happened yet that people will joke about.
The same types of jokes you make after them. Like you're just like reapplying the same humor.
I guess you're reapplying the same words in English, but they're different.
Yeah. I guess maybe
Are
not
you
like
saying that
narrative.
all of the
I
subjects-
guess maybe it feels more like narrative, like an original story, like coming out. It's like so difficult because it feels like everything's already been done.
Yeah, I was.
Well, I want to know what the new thing will be because there's robots, there's aliens, there's
Go on.
zombies,
Mhm.
right?
Robots, aliens, zombies.
Ghosts.
Vampires.
Oh, like popular things in movies.
Yeah, like ghosts.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's brand new that we haven't had yet. It's
Frankenstein never took off.
You mean I Frankenstein didn't revolutionize the Frankenstein movie industry?
I
Remember
can't,
that movie?
I can't
I
believe that
joke.
was an actual movie that came out.
Also, the monster's name isn't Frankenstein.
I know.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah.
I think mummies are next.
They're so slow.
Mummies.
Well, I
That's
mean,
a zombie. A
calling
mummy
it.
is a zombie.
No, but they have the wrapping and
You know what's
It's a
scary?
zombie. It's
No,
a
no, no.
zombie in
but
Bogoroth.
if a mummy bites you, you don't turn into a mummy.
How do you know?
you turn into a daddy.
How does a mummy kill you? So bad.
Stop.
How does a mummy get you? It usually like inhales all your skin off, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah, it does have like mystical powers. I thought it just chased after
Zombies
you and
don't have
kind of beat
mystical
you up.
powers.
No, mummies.
I'm saying that's how they're different. Zombies have no mystical powers, but mummies do.
But what we need is a new enemy, like a fleb or something that hasn't been
Fleb.
invented yet.
Dude,
but it'd be
I'm
like
so
totally
scared
different.
of the fleb.
It might be scary one day.
What's a fleb's powers?
I don't know.
Sounds terrifying.
But try and come up with something
hemorrhoids.
completely new.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids.
Just individual hemorrhoids. It's just the anus with the bean on it.
Disease.
Got a case
Zombies
of the
don't
fleb.
scare me. Dead people who retain their cognitive abilities do. Have you seen Scrooged?
No.
Yeah.
Remember Marley comes back and he's just like a decaying guy and he's like missing an eye. Like he looks like, but I mean his brain is completely intact and he does that thing that I hate where they traverse space just like by thinking about it. Like Gus is over here and then I turn and then when I come back he's in my face. That stuff I can't stand.
So you didn't like the episode of Doctor Who where the statues were like...
No, that was cool. But that's a bit different because it's not like I've been in the ground rotting and you see my rotting flesh. Like I'd be standing here and there's like worms coming out of my head.
Is there a moment in a scary movie that you can remember that scared you more than anything? Do you have like that one moment where you just remember?
I have many.
I do.
What's that?
Do you remember the movie Gothica with Halle Berry?
I never saw it, but I remember.
Do you remember that?
I remember the movie.
I watched it when I was pretty young, and there's a moment where she's like looking under a door and it's all dark, and then she like gets back up and there's a girl behind her, obviously like a dead girl. I screamed
Obviously.
so loud. I don't ever remember screaming that loud at a movie before, or
How
like
old were
having
you?
that reaction. I think I was like 14 or 15.
I watched 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I watched Mars Attacks when I was really young and that scared the crap out of me.
That was really scary. That
That's a
movie.
fucking comedy.
No, but they're like, it was like really menacing the way they talk. I was like,
That
oh,
also
hey,
came
oh.
out when we were like pretty young, right?
Yeah.
When was Mars Attacks?
That was 96.
That's one of
so
the weirdest
I was
casts of any
7.
movie.
It was like Jack Nicholson,
Nicholson.
Natalie Portman.
And
Danny-
Jack Nicholson again.
Danny DeVito,
Did you ever see Coneheads?
Tom
I
Jones.
never
No.
watched that movie.
I saw
no.
Coneheads a couple
Who's
times.
in Coneheads?
It's
Dan
Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd, Jane Curtin.
Was that like an SNL thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were
Never saw
original
that.
cast. I think scariest movie ever was House 2. Didn't you guys see it?
House 2.
Yeah.
No.
You see The House?
No.
It's a sequel to that. But no, it was dead guy. It was like and it was a dead cowboy, which was even worse. He was like walking around
How's
with
that
like
worse?
revolvers. I don't know. For some reason, period.
You don't know?
Period. No. Something about it. Like,
Something
I mean,
about
I guess if it
periods.
was like a guy that I know walking around dead, that's no big deal. But if it's like, a samurai or, a knight and he's dead walking around, for some reason that's scary to me. So like,
Why?
yeah, cowboy. It's terrifying.
Yeah, but they're probably scared of all the technology and the new shit we have.
No, because it's he's dead and he doesn't give a shit.
What about
He's
like a
just-
dead secretary?
Are we talking like a modern secretary
So, like,
or a period piece secretary?
Gus's
60s
old
Mad Men
job?
secretary?
I can't believe you were a
I
secretary.
was a secretary. I fucking scheduled appointments.
Did you call yourself the secretary?
Is that why?
I didn't.
Is
Do
that
a
why
lot
you're
of
so good
winking?
at booking travel and stuff?
Oh, maybe. I never thought about that.
Well,
You might have got some actual skills from that.
when was the last
Maybe
time,
I did.
You're
Organization.
you're very organized.
I try to be.
When was the last time you booked travel?
I book my own travel. I don't book other people's travel anymore. I book my own travel pretty frequently. I book all my own travel. I don't trust anyone else to book my travel just because I'm so efficient at it and I know what I need to get done. It's like I know if someone else booked me something, it would be fine. I'd be like, it could be a little better. I would nitpick it. No one could ever do that job for me satisfactorily.
I also like having control over my travel. I don't like someone else booking it for
It's a
me.
bitch though. It sucks.
I like it when other people book my travel, but with my frequent flyer number, so that I can change my seats.
Yeah.
If
I used to always
someone
do that. I have a spreadsheet filled with, at the time, every Rooster Teeth employee's name, birth date, and all of their frequent flyer numbers. So I could, when I used to book our travel, I would do all of that.
I do a thing now where if we travel as a company, I always log in and move my seat as far away from everyone else as possible. I would much rather travel with a stranger than with people I work with.
No,
Because
I
I like to fall asleep and I don't want someone to take a picture up my nose when I'm asleep and
You
stuff.
know,
the usual stuff that happens on a flight.
Justine and Fwiz, how they're dating. They actually just went from Austin back to LA for E3. And while they were checking in, Fwiz had a screen that came up that said, like, you're eligible to upgrade to first class. And he's like, oh, Justine, there's like, we could upgrade to first class. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that too. And she like swipes her card to upgrade. And then when he does it, it said all seats have been filled. So he couldn't upgrade to first class. So just Justine got it.
Oh my God.
So she was in first class while he had to sit back and coach.
If he had gotten the upgrade, he would have had to give it away and sit back with her.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
To be
that
a
was
gentleman.
lose-lose for him.
Yeah, there's no way you can win that if it's not
I would have
guaranteed.
kept that seat. I absolutely would have kept that
Bernie
seat.
one time let me sit in first class.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was going to sit in coach with someone else, and I was just like, oh, sweet.
I find first class quite depressing, honestly.
Why?
Because it's not like I buy it. I would never spend money on first class. I just have enough miles where I get upgrades. But everyone in first class is just like a middle-aged dude, always pulls out a laptop. There's always like some sort of spreadsheet or graph on it, and they all look miserable. And it's just like, that's no way to live.
I
Are
felt
you
so-
kind
I
of
felt
afraid
so
that's going to
out of
become you one day?
No, I don't think I'll ever become one of those guys. But I just like don't like being surrounded by that kind of like busy flying spreadsheets, graphs. I was just like, ugh.
The last
I'd rather sit and
time
coach.
we went, I went to LA when I went for the At Midnight taping. I was that guy.
You were?
Like I was in my flight. I'd like popped up my laptop and I was in the middle of like reviewing the RTX budget, and I was like going through this giant spreadsheet with multiple, workbooks and pages. And
Were
I'm
there
like,
pie charts?
Partway through, I'm like,
No, we don't.
What
have
the
pie
fuck am I
charts.
doing?
We don't deal with pie charts.
I was like, I got sad. I was like, this is my life. I'm like doing this budget analysis on a flight going to LA.
That time he let me sit in first class. I was obviously dressed for traveling, so it wasn't very nice. And I was just like this girl sitting amongst all these like middle-aged men doing their work, and I was just like, I shouldn't be here right now.
And everyone judges you when you're in first class. Like everyone has to walk past you, and they're all like,
Wonder what he does.
I love showing up dressed like a slob in first class, though. It's like I just
I
want to
was
look as
such a
shitty
slob.
as I can,
Yeah.
and have everyone else be like, should he be here?
Like
a hole in your
sweatpants.
t-shirt.
Yeah, I've definitely
Madame?
gone with like holes in my clothes and like a scraggly beard, look like a fucking half homeless guy.
Speaking of RTX,
Soon.
it is
Less than
we're
4
gonna
months?
be at the convention center in 3 weeks.
That's scary.
So there's 3 more regular podcasts before the RTX?
Something like that.
are we doing the live podcast?
Yeah. I guess what we'll do then is that's on Saturday, I believe. Sunday? Oh, even better. So I guess that week, instead of having a regular podcast on July 7th, which is a Monday, what we'll do is we'll have that podcast on July 6th. We'll have that open to everyone, not just sponsors. And we'll have the specific time and details up on the website soon. So just heads up. There
I
will
know
be
it
no
right now.
live podcast Monday, July 7th. It'll happen Sunday, July 6th. For
You
that.
should
I know
tell
the
Patrick about
time off
that.
the top of my head.
Oh, do you want to announce it right now?
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, July 6th.
There you go.
That's when the live
Last
podcast
year-
will stream. That's Central Time.
Last year when we did that podcast, I was soaking wet because I just had about 500 water balloons lobbed at me in
Oh,
the
yeah.
street.
Oh, that was fun.
And
I-
hadn't you lost a shoe or something?
Both my shoes were wet. One of them was dry.
Both your shoes were wet. One of them was dry.
One of them became dry. They both got wet. I managed to dry one of them.
Okay, I got you.
One of them is still wet.
My 3 feet. Nice and
How did one only? Did you try a different technique for each shoe? Is that why
One in
only
the
one of them
bathroom,
dried?
I held one in front of the air dryer.
Oh, okay.
I only had time to do one.
Okay, I was gonna ask why just one.
And I was like blowing it straight into the hole, so there wasn't room for the other one.
I thought maybe you like put one on the window seal and the other one you just kept like shaking
Window
with your hand.
seal.
Are you guys also gonna do the patch as the
the
patch?
window.
Because there's also a patch panel.
Oh, that's a good question.
is
We'll
it just
probably have to have. That'll probably be a supplementary patch. I need to think about this a little more, just because that's so far off from the regular patch release schedule.
Yeah.
Of a Wednesday. We'll probably stick with the normal release.
Do we have
that
the
week.
budget? Check your spreadsheet.
We'll have to check the spreadsheet. I'll have to get on a flight somewhere and see if we can work the numbers and make them line up.
Better change your clothes.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking. We should have the schedule up this week. It's pretty much finalized. We just have to get it up on the website. But
Yay.
it's looking awesome.
That's
Everything
one
is
of-
looking awesome.
That's like one of the trials and one of the more difficult aspects when it comes to event planning is having to deal with the printed program book,
Yep.
because it's like, well, there's so many things that are in flux, like the schedule, the exhibit hall layout and the map and all of these things. It's all moving parts, and then there's this fucking program book that you have to submit to the printer about 3 weeks before the event.
Yep.
So it's like you're not quite you've got an idea of how everything's gonna go, but it's not right.
It's probably the most stressful part of RTX for me is that program book.
booklet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so you don't understand how many moving pieces there are to RTX.
And you rely on a lot of external people to supply you information.
Yeah.
Is there like a website version that's even more up to date than the paper
That's what I was
version?
going to segue to. So this year, in an effort to combat the fact that things change so much, there will be an RTX app for both iOS and Android devices. We'll have a link to them once they're approved and once they're available for download, so that people can manage a schedule, see a map of the hall, and even make customized schedules for stuff that they want to see. And it's pretty neat. And
So, like, if you want to go to a panel, will it alert you to say go to the panel now?
You
or
could set up
something
an alert.
like? That's awesome.
Yep. You could
Pretty
choose
cool.
how soon you want the alert.
And I've had a sneak peek at this app.
You have.
It looks good.
And it's great. Like, if let's say you're interested in seeing like what Gavin's involved in, you could click on Gavin and see every panel he's on, every signing he's involved with, and just like you could add things to
When
your
I'm
schedule.
going to the bathroom,
Exactly.
what number it's gonna be.
And my dad's actually working on it.
yes, he is.
Mr. Dunkelman.
He turned that around.
Larry!
He turned that around really fast.
Wait, what does Larry mean?
Dad?
Here's our baby boy, Dad.
Dad Darkman.
It's funny. My little brother's initials are DAD, so he's dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
I was always upset growing up. I don't know why this upset me. I was always upset that my initials weren't GUS.
That'd
my
have been
first
tough.
initial's G and my last initial's S.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
But
why?
there's no good name that starts with U.
Yeah, but I could at least have something. No one knows what my middle name is for
Gus
the most part
Ugly
anyway.
Sorola.
What the fuck?
You want
Everyone's watching you ugly laugh, by the way. I just want to point that out.
to talk about it, Gus? You okay?
It's just like, it would have been cool. My initials would have been Gus.
It's the first U word I could think of.
You didn't even think of a name. You thought of a word.
You looked at his face
Yeah, the
and
first
said
word
ugly.
you thought of was ugly. This is like high school all over again.
Aw.
Did you ever think that when Barbara signed up on the website when she was like 14, she'd ever be on a couch opposite you calling you ugly
Yeah,
live?
like drinking a beer, talking to thousands of people, be like, I look at your face and the first word that comes to mind is ugly. Thanks, Barbara.
You're putting words in my mouth now, Gus.
All right, do a word for me.
Well, give me a letter.
D.
Dighead.
So fast as well.
She's pretty mean.
Brandon with a P.
Prick.
All right.
Jeez. Man.
Well, I get that.
Anyone want to go for a W with Barbara?
Woman.
Nice.
There you go. See, I was nice.
I thought you were going to say C. Like, bring it on.
So, you were talking earlier about how there were no like original ideas left
Yeah.
in like narrative or trying to come up with a story. Like Jordan came into my office earlier and we were trying to brainstorm like a funny idea. We had like this thing we needed a name for. And he's like, I need help coming up with a funny name for this thing. And it's like, we sat in there for probably like 30 minutes and we came up with a whole bunch of stuff. And we're like, none of it's really that great. A lot of it's already been done.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're just like, we were just left unsatisfied. It's like, I guess that's the best option. I don't know. It's not that great.
My favorite conversation like that was when Jordan was trying to come up with a name for the strip club in one of the RTAs. Were you part of that
Yeah, yeah.
conversation? We had like 20 different ideas for the name of the strip club.
Yeah. What? I don't even remember what it ended up being.
I don't know.
Was it chocolate
Something for tatas.
Yeah, Tatas for now.
Tatas for now.
It was it was that was my suggestion.
That's really good.
Were you nervous earlier when Barbara and I came into your office?
I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm just like sitting there listening to my music, and you both like walk in with like nervous looks on your face. I was like, oh shit, what is
Told you
it?
to take
And I
off your
tried to
headphones.
ignore you at first, and you were like,
You can't. We just stood leaning over your desk and you kept your headphones on. You can't ignore us. We're right there.
Or they're staring at you and you're just like,
And then he like the moment he gave in, his face is like,
I thought. See, I was like trying to call someone's bluff. I'm like, if I don't take my headphones off, maybe they'll leave. Like, maybe it's not important enough that they'll just walk out.
we would just get too socially awkward and just back out.
Yeah. Oh, when you deal with me, you definitely have to account for the social awkward factor.
Barbara and I decided to pitch an idea to Gus right before the podcast.
We did.
And we were both too scared to ask him. So we went together.
What was it?
We were going to see if John could be on the podcast. John Reisinger.
Oh.
Bernie Hates Five People podcast. In fact, we're replacing this couch specifically for that reason.
I'm happy about it. I hate this couch.
Bernie said,
You should see the new couch.
Bernie
Gus showed
said-
it to me.
"Do you
Is it
not
good?
like it?
It looks so weird.
Can I see it?
It looks kind of weird.
It looks
I
like-
guess,
it looks so
Patrick, if you don't mind,
futuristic.
if we can find it, it'll take him a while to find it if at all possible.
I love that we can see into there because whenever you do something like that, everyone kind of leaps up and Patrick's like looking backwards. It's like, quick, get the couch.
to get it done. So what happened was last week, Bernie threatened to destroy this couch if we did not buy a new one. He said, because at least then you have to buy a new couch.
Well, look how wide. Like, I'm so far from Barbara, I can barely even touch her face.
Right, so we're going to have a new couch, which will cause us to, like, compress the set in a bit. We'll all be sitting a little closer to each other. And we're going to do some redecorating. Because as a result of the new couch, I was talking to Patrick earlier, I was like, the table's not going to match. The rug's not going to match.
I think it's also
the tables
now-
aren't going to match.
Are you saying this table matches this couch?
Well, the table matches the rug, which matches the couch.
Does it?
Yeah, it has
That's a
brown in it,
stretch.
and then the carpet has.
Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
Oh, dude, I'll take it. That
Oh,
looks-
don't you feel stupid now, Barbara?
No, I'm saying it's weird, but it's like it's interesting looking.
Isn't this couch number 3
Well,
for the podcast?
It looks very
Two.
futuristic.
Here's why that couch is good. That's an
this
interesting.
is the second one though, right?
This is the first, I thought.
That's an interesting looking couch. It was going to look cool under the lighting.
Yeah.
And it's going to be shown on screen so many times. This is just a couch. It's just like some couch.
Yeah, this is literally, we got this just as a placeholder whenever we bought it. We're like, we'll replace it at some point.
Yeah.
It was like literally the cheapest couch we could
like
find.
I can imagine when we retire the next couch, that black one, we could put it up for auction, and people be like, it's the podcast couch. If we put this up for auction, they'd be like, nah, I don't want this couch.
I'm sure people will want this couch.
Really?
I really.
It sucks.
I'm kind of sad because I really wanted to take this couch into Gus's and I's office because the couch we have now is from Walmart and it was like.
It's like sitting on a bunch of cardboard boxes.
It's like, first of all, it's like 2 inches off the ground. It's so small and short, and it's hard. It's not very comfortable. And I want to take this couch. but
Probably
Gus
give you
is like,
hemorrhoids.
No, it's fucking gross. The couch is gross. I was like, I don't care.
I don't want that couch.
I'm
don't
wearing
want this
clothes when I
couch?
sit on it. I'm not sitting on it naked.
You can steam clean a couch,
I guess.
blast all the germs out.
I want it. I'm going to put it in our
Tons
office.
of beer, especially on this portion of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I'm sure there's been so much shit spilled on
We
it.
could probably get it like reupholstered.
At that point, we're just buying a new couch.
Yeah.
When's the new couch getting here?
Like in 3 weeks, I think. Is that 3 weeks? Is that right? 3 weeks.
Dude, we should have it at RTX.
The new couch? Yeah. It got like brand new. We'll take it to RTX and like, instantly destroy it.
No, well, are we going to bring the podcast set again?
I do not want to take the podcast set, but I think Brandon wants to have it there.
We didn't do that
Oh
last year,
yeah,
did we?
for the
Yeah, we did.
people love.
We didn't do the podcast from it though.
No, but we
No.
had people take pictures on it and stuff. in
Yeah,
the,
we had it all
Yeah,
set up.
people.
RT experience,
People
like-
loved it.
We should just after the convention just give the couch to someone.
Oh, maybe we
Or
could have
just-
a raffle in the booth.
Yeah.
And
Maybe-
like,
maybe
I'd
prove
love
me
to see
wrong.
someone take that on a flight. Be like, I'm checking this couch. I see people show up with fucking skis and guitars all the time and carry them onto the plane. Someone can check a fucking couch on a plane.
You really think that those are similar sizes?
Yeah. Skis are about the same size as that.
You can put skis on a plane though.
You
can
could
put a
put you could
couch on
put
a plane?
skis on your feet and go down a mountain.
I've
Put
seen-
a couch on your foot and go down a mountain.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not saying you use them for the same thing. I say the same size. That'd be fucking stupid.
No, you're fucking stupid.
Oh,
Damn.
it's getting heated.
Fucking got told. I'm ugly and I'm fucking stupid. I guess I just gotta drink my beer now.
Get faced.
But I've seen people take like coffins on the plane.
Have you?
Yeah, you've never seen that?
No.
No.
You never see Lost?
Yeah. But then you don't see them like. How do you see them taking
I've
a plane?
seen crazy shit loaded on the planes before.
Like
I
they're
saw
just
a
like
dude
walking
one-
through the aisle holding a coffin.
I've seen
It
a
was
sniper
put
rifle.
under the plane. One time, I was connecting on a flight in Dallas. I was with Bernie, and I kept feeling the plane like rock a little bit. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I looked out the window, and I could see like the luggage thing. I don't know what to call it, the conveyor belt that like loads the luggage on the plane. And it was there, and there was an armored car backed up to it, and there were like armed security guards, and this old dude watching the armed security guards take these giant bundles of gold out of the security cart, put them on the conveyor belt, and like them go up into
What,
the
it
plane.
rocked the entire
It
plane?
rocked the entire plane. Then after he loaded the plane with gold, the dude came up and sat in first class and rode on the plane. And
No
I guess
way.
where they were going, he got out and got his gold out of the plane.
Wow.
I guess you would want to see it all go on the plane.
Right. They're like, what do you have to do to be like, I would like to personally load my gold onto the plane and then go up and get in the plane.
Aren't you technically not allowed to travel with like a certain value of?
Yeah, you fill out a form. It'll be fine.
That dude did it.
I guess. Yeah. That's crazy.
So yeah, you could, if that dude loaded gold on a plane, you can load a fucking couch on a plane.
Well, what's the limit on value you can move from country to country?
I think it's like 10 grand.
You have to declare it. Like it's not.
If it's like over 10 grand, don't you have to fill out some sort of special
If
paperwork?
it's currency, you can have an item worth more than 10 grand.
But they ask you typically on customs forms, like, do you have merchandise or items worth more than $10,000.
I'm glad they didn't ask me about the Phantom when I went to Canada.
Jesus, yeah. I always got nervous when we were coming back from conventions and we would like have the money that we made at the convention with us every now and then. I think we changed it what we do now, but like traveling with that was always really nerve-wracking.
So someone tweeted if the new couch will remove the blurry on the right side of the wide shot. So I'm telling you, Patrick, someone noticed.
Wait, what's happened?
One of our cameras is fucking up, and if you look over there at the table on Brandon's side, it's a little blurry.
Put your hand over there.
Where's that?
Like it's
By your
easier to
table?
tell when there's no one on the podcast set, but my chair is really sharp and in focus, and then on Brandon's side, it's not quite.
Well, we got
as
like
focused.
a tilt shift lens on it.
Yeah,
What's going
something's a little weird with that camera. We're replacing the cameras as well. So no, smartass. The new couch will not fix the blurry side of the shot, but the new camera we purchased will.
Are we gonna send that camera in for work?
That camera?
Yeah, it's send it back to the manufacturer. And
That was-
have people, 4 or 5 guys over it trying to
I've told it
fix
before.
it.
That is, I walked into Best Buy and I literally bought the cheapest camera I could. Was it like 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Why?
You're
Like,
"Oh,
it's the
there's-
camera that films our faces every single week. Why wouldn't we have a good one?
Because again, like the couch, it was temporary.
Why buy temporary stuff? You know we're going to do a video podcast.
Yeah, like we'll just get it off the ground with this, and then we'll buy nice ones.
Temporary stuff never works. People like to keep
Does
crap.
it? I think 150 episodes will say otherwise.
Oh,
Yeah, but it
touche.
doesn't ever work as temporary. Now, these are our cameras now.
Well, not for long. We're getting new ones.
Said 2 years ago.
We actually have some new cameras that we're going to buy. They're going to start shipping later this month, so we're waiting to get some test units in, make sure everything works, and then we'll probably.
To
pull the
be
trigger.
fair, like the other temporary stuff that you had for the podcast just kept getting better and better. Like the mic situation we had when we first started these podcasts,
Yeah.
where it was the lavaliers.
I think
Now
we
we
should
actually
have
have
one
professional-
camera for every person. I don't want to share my shot with Barbara, to be honest.
Why not?
Look at this shot. I'm tiny.
Yeah, but with the new couch, you'll be sitting closer together.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you calling me fat right now?
How did you get that from that?
You said you look tiny.
All right, this is how big my head is on the screen. Now cut to Gus. Look at the size of it. Christ alive.
Okay.
That's what I was
I
saying.
thought you were saying you look tiny
Yeah,
in
that sounded
comparison
bad.
to me.
And now we're like ants.
No, but we should have that new couch soon, and it'll fix your problem. You'll be a lot bigger.
I was only kidding about that, by the way.
No. And we're going to get you your own camera. And also, the new cameras will have the red lights on them, the tally system.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think were they the ones we looked at
Yeah.
E3? Yeah.
You won't have to look at the camera. You'll be able to look and immediately know which camera it is.
You can set up a separate tally system, though.
Yeah, but temporary.
Yeah, fair play.
It's all integrated too, and like the headsets too, all integrated in one solution.
Yeah, it's
Smart.
going to be
It's good.
pretty neat.
Proven
Wait, what
better.
else? What else on this podcast is temporary?
Well, the lights are not temporary anymore. We had temporary lights for a long time. We finally got permanent lights.
Like, was this on purpose? Like, what is that?
That's temporary.
That's like part of the set design.
You're ruining the illusion. They're just stacked.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, I think Kara went to Target and we just bought a bunch of stuff. And I was like, great.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're going to
Make
do
it
it.
look good.
I got to say, I like the blue lights that we got back here. That's my
It
favorite
does
part.
look cool. I like how they look in contrast with the gold and the red.
We
the podcast
definitely,
set.
once we moved into the space, we had to play around a lot with the look of the podcast. It just didn't look the same as it did at the old location.
I think it looks pretty
I think
similar.
it's because of the lighting.
Yeah, if you look at a screenshot, the lighting's pretty different.
It also
It's-
feels really different doing the podcast now than it used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I
Because
think
we're
it's
in a
because
studio and not a,
It's also because
garage.
it's like a raised platform that's like its own little thing, whereas before it was like you're just sitting down.
Oh, but you know
in
what
a
I do not
room.
miss? How fucking hot
Yeah.
it got in there in the summer.
Yeah.
And how goddamn cold it was in the winter.
Yeah.
That place was not insulated at all.
And now we could just walk over here. We don't have to go to another building to come to the podcast.
Yeah.
Man,
weird.
you
Yeah, now
guys were
if it
there for an
rains.
hour a week. We work there.
Yeah,
Like,
you
we were there a
worked
lot.
you worked in the room that was air conditioned, though.
Ish.
Yeah, that room was a lot
Barely.
better than the studio.
Patrick,
and then
how
we
was it? Was that air conditioned?
Yeah, more or
So.
less.
You got demoted massively because you were upstairs, like original bullpen area, and then you ended up in the annex for some reason.
No, I mean I was volunteered for it when we needed the new space, just because like our people were all over. It was just scattered in
Who moved
different
around
pieces.
the most in that office, do you think?
You moved around the most.
You think so?
Yeah.
I moved around a
How many
lot.
desks did you
Miles
have?
moved around a lot too.
I was in the dungeon, and then I was upstairs, and then
It's 3.
I feel like there was
In
a
the tech
fourth
office.
place. Tech office. Was there no other place? I
Didn't you have a
guess not.
cubicle once?
No, I never did the cubicle.
I had
So you had
3.
four different places,
3.
4 different rooms.
3.
Dungeon upstairs. Oh yeah.
Tech,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had 3. I worked in the tech office, in the cubicles, and the upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Am I the only employee who has 2 desks?
Where's
Here?
your second desk?
I want to get a second
Oh,
desk
the
at the
second
bungalow.
office.
Just because I think more than anyone else, I spend more time going there.
What do you ever do at the bungalow?
I talk to Yvonne and Alan a lot,
Ah.
so I have to go to the bungalow for
Especially
that.
with RTX.
You know who
and
I've
stuff.
Yeah.
noticed who's really, really lonely and hates being in the bungalow? The Risemonger.
The rice manga.
He's so lonely over there.
Is he?
Yeah.
He missed the
He-
chest waxing today, and he was all bummed out about
He
it.
misses that. Like, he didn't like it when I used to walk upstairs and kick everything off his desk. Now he really misses
You know what you need to do, dude? Go over there, knock all the shit off his desk
it.
tomorrow
I think
morning.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely will.
Do it at least once a day.
Once a day. It's a lot of effort.
I
Let's
make,
make
it,
it-
I
let's
make
re-
an effort to visit once a day.
Dude, if I did that once a day, I would definitely see that British Airways flight.
Let's make RT life out of it.
At
Just go over there.
3:43 p.m.
Yeah.
It typically flies over about between 3:40 and 3:45. I've noticed,
Interesting.
unless except for that one day at 3:30 when it fucking flew over early, out of nowhere. I feel like a crazy person when I tell people that.
You're going to get arrested by the FBI
Like,
for
British
tracking
Airways 191. There it is. Like I can hear it. I'm like, that's a 787. Where is it?
Dude,
You know
that,
they're just waiting for you to come out of the office to fly that plane
They're
over.
like circling.
They're just
that
like,
would
"There
be
he
a cool
is."
app. The augmented reality. You point it at a plane, it tells you which flight it is.
That is pretty cool.
I would watch
Or
that.
you could point in a section of sky and
Yeah.
it shows you like all of the planes
And,
within.
and you know how that sun tracking app, it
Mm-hmm.
shows you where the sun will be on a line? If it could show you like where the planes will be at what time.
They should be able to tell you that. I mean, you can look up
Yeah.
the like filed flight
All you
paths
need-
on FlightAware.
All you need is the public information of flight times and flight numbers along with GPS.
Yeah. Yeah. There's already websites that do that. You just have to change it to like read it into an augmented reality. I think this is a new idea.
I'm full of them tonight.
We said there weren't any more new ideas. There's one right there.
Probably wouldn't be legal.
It would. Why not? Why not? All
I
the
don't know, people
information's
get
already
weird
out there.
about tracking flights and stuff.
Some dude in Austin got arrested a couple weeks ago because he was shining. You know, there's those like real powerful lasers you can buy online.
That's illegal.
He was shining them at a police helicopter.
What?
Oh.
That's like
Fucking
an
idiot.
arrest me beacon.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm
it
breaking
was
the
a
law.
police helicopter landing at the Austin airport, and he kept shining the green laser at it. And of course, they're like, oh, the guy's right over there. So it's like they landed and just went straight over there and arrested him.
That's a huge crime to commit.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big
Why
fine.
would you do that?
Shining
That's
a beacon at a
fucking
police
stupid.
helicopter?
How old was he?
He was like 23.
Oh Jesus.
It's like the same asshole who used to shine a laser pointer at the movie screen just like graduated to like the next level of douchebaggery.
For like
Yeah.
3 years, those laser pointers were everywhere. It
Can
was
you hit the
horrible.
moon with a laser pointer?
It's powerful enough, I think you can.
If you hit say the moon was,
What is your fascination with the moon?
it's just like really big and close.
What do you mean hit it?
So
Well-
am I apparently.
So if it
You're
was
about the same
a
color.
if it was a new moon, wait,
Spit it out. Work through it.
like that's when the moon's all black, right?
No, I think yes.
Could you shine a light at it, a laser?
You can always shine a light at it.
Yeah, but you can't see it if it's a green laser on the white moon. It's reflecting the sun. You're not going to see it. are
Yeah,
you?
but you might not hit it. If well,
Are you
no,
saying
I
I
guess
can't-
you're moving with the. You're moving.
the moon's not going like.
No. But I'm saying you're moving with the moon, and then I guess if you're moving, the light's gonna be moving as well.
What?
Because it's not gonna just instantly get there. Like it'll take.
I mean,
It won't be
it'll
that
go
long.
How long does light would
300
take to get to the moon? Light takes like
Light takes-
6 minutes or 12 minutes to get
Isn't it
from
like
the sun.
300,000
Yes, it
meters
would
per
just be a
second?
couple seconds.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
if
no.
that. If that.
Well, because the moon is like 240,000 miles away.
Oh, so it would take like a second.
It would take. Yeah, there wouldn't be any noticeable delay. You could just beam the moon.
Just
But I'm
hit.
wondering if you look down a telescope,
If you could see
would it be too dispersed by the time it hits the moon, or could you see a spot?
You'd
on
have
the
to be
moon?
very precise. You'd have to have like the laser would have to be almost mounted to the telescope,
Yeah.
and you'd have to be able to like dial in specific coordinates to be able to find it. Because then you're aiming a telescope at the moon.
I would like to do it and have a bunch of lasers and spell something out on the moon, and then
We've lost Barbara.
You'd sound like a Bond villain. Like that's exactly what they do in Bond movies.
But, like, what-
the people would.
it would be the most
freak the
effective,
fuck out.
effective ad campaign ever. The moon just with green text on it, and everyone can see it, and nobody can do anything about it.
But it would be so small.
We'll just do it big then.
No, but I mean, like the size you see the moon from Earth, it's like you could put your thumb over it and cover it.
Right. Well, I think
So how much
size-wise,
text
it's
could
like
you,
Australia.
how much text could you put there?
Maybe it's the logo.
Cockbite.
Okay, so I remember hearing about you. You made me remember this. This is a story dated from May 15th of this year. A Japanese drink company, this is on The Verge, theverge.com. A Japanese drink company is putting the first billboard on the moon.
Are they projecting it on the moon?
They're sending a 1 kilogram titanium can filled with powdered sports drink and children's dreams. What?
What?
Hold on.
Are you reading a joke right now?
That's what I'm starting to wonder. I guess it must be a bad translated Japanese press release.
Is it being taken up there by fairies?
The specially designed canister, which contains a
Is it
shipment
the most popular combo?
of Pocari sweat powder, will mark a disturbing new frontier for humanity, the first commercial product delivered to another world for marketing purposes. It'll be carried to the lunar surface aboard the first planned private moon landing mission set to take place October 2015. So, yeah, it's being taken up there by a Falcon 9 rocket.
It's going to be damn annoying to see an ad on the moon. Do you think one day I'll end
You
up
probably
like...
won't be able to see it if it's a 1 kilogram can.
But I'm saying, like, imagine this is the moon. Like, this is your vision of the moon. This tiny little circle on the pillow. You can't see that. But you can't read something that's written on that.
Oh, there's a message plate in the can. And then dreams are going to be engraved on the titanium plates using laser technology to replicate
Dreams?
handwritten
Do you think
submissions.
once everyone is doing this, it will end up like the $1 million homepage, where it's just nothing but just junk all over the moon, just like a bunch of
Probably.
crap?
Like, the moon's just going to be a junkyard or like a landfill just filled with shit.
So you can just send whatever you want to the moon. Like you don't have to ask permission.
Well, I mean,
or
nobody
anything. Like
owns-
it's just
Can
free.
we send Gavin?
Does anyone own the moon yet? Has anyone got
No,
it?
I don't think so. But I mean, it's like, could you get like in trouble? People, other countries be like, "What the fuck did you do?"
I think the next major war will be over the moon.
I can see that
But why do you want it?
because you don't have it.
Yeah, but
That's why. That's like the
everyone-
history of the Earth.
What you
You
pay
can't
for now,
live there
there was
yet.
oil and stuff, and then like water and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now it's about advertising. It's about amount of people seeing something. That's why
That's-
Facebook's worth a lot.
That's not necessarily true. Again, I'm going to go back.
Everyone can see the moon.
so you think there'll be a war over advertising?
Yeah. I think it'll be the great
Canada's
advertising
just
war.
like, we just want more exposure, man.
Again, going back to the Vice TV show, the most recent episode of Vice talked about how all the countries that border the North Pole are starting to engage in a new Cold War over who owns the North Pole. Because as global warming continues to erode the North Pole, there are now like viable shipping routes up there. And now you can access oil under the North Pole that was not accessible
See,
previously.
that makes sense.
So like Russia has exerted that they own the North Pole, whereas like Canada, the United States, and their allies in Northern Europe have said that Russia does not own the North Pole. So now they all hold war games up above the Arctic Circle right next to each other.
Jesus.
I wonder who will finish in pole position.
Oh, nice.
I like puns. I don't know what you guys do to them. You all fucking murder them though.
I've infected the brains of people who work here.
All right, well, it's about time to wrap up. So I want to thank for everyone who stuck with us through the live stream tonight.
And those puns.
We'll be back on Wednesday with an episode of The Patch, and then next Monday with another episode of RT Podcast.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
I love you.
It's weird not having Bernie stop me.
It's a podcast. Motherfucker.
With Jeff, Jack, Joe, Gus, Bernie, sometimes Gavin. Though he's mental, so none of us really want him on the podcast because, I mean, like, who wants to listen to a poem that doesn't know anything that he's talking about? Yeah.